Good afternoon, Professor Tudor, who speak to you, the student was Landon here. In this opportunity, I talk about the procedure of the proof of the landing gear motor. Well, the present laboratory practice were intended for the assembly of the external circuit corresponding to the landing gear motor, for which the electrical diagram was again analyzed, specifying the drive of this electric motor. As you know, the rotary motion of this motor is converted to a linear motion to actuate the gear. The retraction transmission pushes the torque arms forward, which pull the main landing gear cables, and pushes the nose gear retraction tube forward, retracting the landing gear. When the gear is fully retracted, the gear limit switch stops the motor and the amber gear indicator. Um, the indicator light on the instrument panel lights. The landing gear motor is switched in the placed in the down position. When this occur, the operating this motor and the traction transmission, the transmission pulls the torque arms back, back switch pushes on main gear cables and push on the nose gear, extending the landing gear. When the gear is fully extending, the gear down switches stop the motor, and the green gear, the green gear down in unlocked indicator lighted on the instrument panel lights. It is mentioned that prior to assembling the circuit to perform the test of the components before installing the TCU and ended the operation as well of the other components. The respective measurements of the energization points of both energy on the brake were taken again coil. Well, in addition to the turning points, obtaining again the following results: the ground wires, the brake coil motor. The brake coil motor is 1.25 ohms. The green motor cable and the brake coil cable is 1.25 ohms. The sense of rotation is a red cable of the motor is 2.6 ohms, and the sense of on another cable of sense of rotation is yellow cable is 2.6 ohms. Okay. After corroborating the necessary data, it began with the search of the information in the respective service manual and the voltage and amperage of energization, being these 12 VDC and 30 amps. However, according to this in an external test, the use of 10 amps is enough. Then the assembly process of the circuit were initiated, for which the AWIS procedures were taken into account. The splices were executed with the special tool and with the appropriate terminals. Likewise, the wells were protected with accessories cutting tooling. On the other hand, two switches were used of which one of two positions. What will do fully to the function of the circuit breaker, that is to set the protection of the system. While the second full-wheel's main function is changing the rotation of the motor, extension and retraction of the landing gear. So that is we should have a three position: extension, neutral, and retraction. And the assembly of the basic electrical carried was carried according to this list: the brake coil and the gear, and the three and the point of the brake cable, yellow cable, the common ground, and the energization point of the brake coil, and the cables green and black. Okay. Well, due to fact is what external text notes all the exact components with which this component works on the aircraft were available, and the search for information about the functional test with the respect of this equipment began, finding the following this project. We observed this procedure. We observed the function of the retraction and extension of the landing gear motor. We observed the voltage, amperage, and the results embedded in this project. well, with respect to this test, it was observed that the spring and the weight were used for this operation so that the engine could work optimally and could not be damaged. And these important components were achieved a certain time was given to adhere this component to the circuit. To then energize the system and start the pre-installation test on the aircraft and execute the final test that verified that all equipment is fully operational. However, the teacher in chair felt that the team was not ready to perform the test because the planning of the work and the condition in which the team wanted to perform the test were incorrect. So test was suspended momentarily. Well, with respect to the data and the realization of the present laboratory practice involved to landing gear motor, it was observed to the values with respect to the resistance measurements of the inputs of both the motor and the brake coil were maintained with the same measure, which indicated that the equipment was in good condition. On the other hand, it's important to mention that the knowledge obtained from the video was essential to have an idea with regard of the operation, visualization of the landing gear drive of the system, which served as great help for the assembly of the circuits. In addition, always procedures were applied during the construction of the electrical circuits, specifically in the welding process, cable process, cable bracing, and among others. Finally, conclusion with the regard with the measurement taken, this observed to verify the status to the connection inputs of the two components analyzed, being in the optimal conditions. On the other hand, the objective was not achieved in the entirety, which was to test the system installing on the aircraft, so it is recommended to a detailed planning be carried out, involving all the procedures to be carried out during the work, as well as also have to necessary material for it. It is important to highlight that the search for information of didactic material, including audiovisual content, involved with the system. Okay, it's vital importance since this allows the greater knowledge about the operation if a certain component can be obtained. That's all for this opportunity. Thanks for watching.